you ready
I
for
am.
this week's commentary on the news? We have so many news. We have too many news actually. I think we ought to start with Jack, with old Jack Biden, Joe Corn Pop, whatever Biden. I think we ought to because he's been making quite a scene, Luigi, this past few days. He's been making all sorts of statements in his rallies, speeches, whatever you want to call them. But what this is that he was also being investigated, if you remember, about confidential documents, about the classified documents that Trump is being taken to court as well. Biden
Yeah.
was also had a special prosecutor, had a special whatever, a special counsel investigating him. And he came out with that he's not gonna prosecute. He doesn't want to take that case to trial because Biden came out through the interviews as such a senile old guy that the jury would not convict him if we had to argue that this was willfully done by Biden.
That's what the
We,
prosecutor
yeah.
concluded.
The special whatever prosecutor, who was a Republican, I believe. But I thought that was the sweetest way to deny prosecuting someone because he's senile, dude. And there's no jury that's gonna believe he did it on purpose. And so, as you can imagine, Biden was fuming, and he came out for a press conference, an impromptu press conference, and he had a few Bidenisms in it. Sad to say, Luigi. Should we
Well,
have a look?
let's hear it from the man himself.
The decision to decline criminal charges was straightforward. The evidence suggests that Mr. Biden did not willfully retain these documents. The evidence who said I did not willfully retain these documents. In addition, I know there's some attention paid to some language in the report about my recollection of events. There's even reference that I don't remember when my son died. How the hell dare he raise that? Frankly, when I was asked the question, I thought to myself, wasn't any of their damn business. Let me tell you something.
Luigi, sorry.
Yeah.
Comment.
Yeah.
What he's talking about is that the special counsel asked him when his son died, and Biden evidently didn't reply because he thought, what the fuck, why would he ask me that? But the special counsel simply noted, doesn't remember when son died.
Wow. Wow.
Which I told you.
That's brutal. That's pretty brutal.
You can, I can tell he's fucking fuming about this, but this is incredible because it's the sweetest Republican fuck you could ever give. Not gonna prosecute cause senile. And you can tell it hit a nerve, dude. Let's just finish with it. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
I wear since the day he died, every single day, the rosary he got from Our Lady of. Every Memorial Day, we hold a service remembering him, attended by friends and family and the people who loved him. I don't need anyone. I don't need anyone to remind me when he passed away or if he passed away.
Wow. I've never seen Biden grinding his teeth that
You,
Brandon.
you actually feel sorry for him about this.
Yeah.
Simple truth is I sat for 5 hours, 2 days of events, going back 40 years. At the same time I was managing an international crisis, their task was to make a decision about whether to move forward with charges in this case. That's their decision to make. That's a counsel's decision to make. That's his job. And they decided not to move forward. For any extraneous commentary, they don't know what they're talking about. It has no place in this report. The bottom line is the matter is now closed. I'm going to continue what I've always focused on, my job of being President of the United States of America. Thank you, and I'll take some questions.
President Biden, something special counsel said in his report is that one of the reasons you were not charged is because, in his description, you are a well-meaning elderly man with a poor memory.
I'm well-meaning, and I'm an elderly man, and I know what the hell I'm doing. I've been president. I put this country back on its feet. I don't need his recommendation.
How bad is your memory, and can you continue as president?
My memory is so bad I let you speak. That's what.
Your memory has gotten worse, Mr. President?
My memory is not good. My memory is fine. My memory, take a look at what I've done since I become president. None of you thought I could pass any of the things I got passed. How'd that happen? You know, I guess I just forgot what was going on.
Mr. President.
That was pretty snappy.
It's
Oh.
good, but it gets progressively worse. That's the thing.
I forgot how I did everything. What did I
Ah.
do? Remind me.
About your age, how are you going to dissuade them? Do you fear that this report is only going to fuel further concern about your age?
Only by some of you.
Why is everybody shouting over each other? Like, what kind of
That's right.
press briefing is this?
Luigi, they're trying to confuse him now. They smell weakness. He's senile, he's weak.
They sense the memory loss in the water.
You take responsibility for at least being careless with classified material.
I take responsibility for not having seen exactly what my staff was doing. As it goes in and points out, things that appeared in my garage, things that came out of my home, things that were moved not by me, but my staff.
Mr. President, for months when you were asked about your age, you would respond with the words, "Watch me." Many American people have been watching and they have expressed concerns about your age.
That is your judgment. That is your judgment. That is not the judgment of the press.
They express concerns about your mental.
The public, Joe, the public.
Mr. President.
The press decides. The holy press.
Joey, she is the press. You're talking to the press, Joe. No way.
Remember, Joe, we're doing the press conference, Joe.
December, you told me that you believe there are many other Democrats who could defeat Donald Trump. So why does it have to be you now? What is your
Because
answer
I'm
to
the
that
most
question?
qualified person in this country to be president of the United States and finish the job I started.
Yeah, I think we're
This is a
saying,
fucking mess. Yeah. This is
yeah, it's a mess, right? It's almost, I mean, it's not a Trumpian level press conference, but it harkens to that golden era of press conferences.
As much as Trump likes his rallies and having like an audience, like when he's against reporters and reporters are hostile, it's like you can sense the animosity. It's like you shut every one of them down.
Yeah.
The
yeah.
Trumpian press conferences are something else.
And then, by the way, he goes on to confuse. I think he calls Sisi the president of Mexico, the Egyptian president, of course. And we've got another one that he had, I don't know, a few days before this conference. That's exceptionally funny, where he confuses Macron for François Mitterrand, who I think died in, I don't know, 1996. I don't know. Well, they went to school with Joey. Joey remembers.
Right after I was elected,
Yeah.
I went to what they call a G7 meeting, all the NATO leaders. And it was in South England. And I sat down and I said, "America's back." And Mitterrand from France looked at me and said, "You know, why, how long you back for?"
What
I
in
looked at him.
what?
And the Chancellor of Germany said,
And then,
"What did you say,
Luigi,
Mr. President?"
Wait. I wanna listen back to it. Wait.
Yeah,
We gotta do this one more time.
And Mitterrand from Germany was in South England. And I sat down and I said, "America's back." And Mitterrand from France looked at me and said, "You know, how long you back for?" And I looked at him and the Chancellor of Germany said, "What would you say, Mr. President?" He picked up the paper tomorrow in the London Times. And the London Times said, 1,000 people.
Is there a London Times? There's no London Times.
There was one, Luigi. And then Tsar Nicholas II turned to me and he was like, "You've done well, Joey. You've done well." He patted my knee. My knee, Luigi was like, time to take a rest, Joey. I was like, no, no, no. And then the Farah, you know the Farah, good guy, reliable guy.
Ooh, the Pharaoh.
Yeah, the Farah.
The Pharaoh, the Pharaoh. Okay, okay.
Yeah. Went to school with the Farah. It was like, time to take a rest, Joey. Time to take a... Oh no, I gotta fight this. I gotta fight to win, Luigi. This is incredible, right?
And Alexander the Great asked me, how long are you staying, Joey? How long?
I was like, I don't know, Alex. I don't know. Funny little rapscallion. What are you doing in India? Fuck you doing there, Alex? I think I might join you soon.
Because
I gotta finish this fight, Luigi.
from one to being senile, what do we give Joe Biden?
So this is what I wanted to discuss. Exactly. This was the ultimate, what all this has been leading to, Luigi. 1 to 5, how senile is Jack Biden? Give us your rating. And if you want,
Wow.
you can explain it as well.
I mean, without a teleprompter, we are at 4 out of 5.
5, I
Senile.
imagine. Yeah, completely
5 being,
senile.
yeah, 5 being senile.
4 out of 5, I think. Arguable.
With a teleprompter, I think you go down to 3 out of 5.
Definitely. Oof, I love your analysis. It's far more nuanced than I expect.
What's yours? What do you think?
Fuck. I can't give him 3 out of 5. I gotta go with 4 as well. Sorry, Jack. and my honest question is, I hope he doesn't do it in front of. Hey, Cici. Hey, how's Mexico? Did you bring those tacos? I genuinely hope he doesn't get it wrong when he meets them as well. Jesus fucking Christ, it's pathetic.
At least he remembers the countries.
Yeah,
like that's positive. Like
it's
the people,
the name.
who cares?
Yeah, I mean,
people
Macron.
come and go. I mean, Macron, Mitterrand, same thing. I mean, they're both
Exactly.
French, whatever.
Sunak, Rashid, Rushid, whatever the fuck. Yeah, I mean, it's just people in the end. Yeah.
What was that? Rushisi.
I don't even remember what the fuck you
I
called
don't remember
him.
it either.
But it was something super weird. Rashid agrees, he's a good kid.
I'm actually gonna find it.
Oh, Jesus. But I mean, he does this at this point on a constant, I would say weekly basis. We're at this point,
The
Luigi.
United States and Europe are fully united. This morning, I had a long conversation with our NATO allies, German Chancellor Scholz, French President Macron, Prime Minister Sunak, and
Sunuk.
Of the ancient Sunuk tribe. He's a legend. He's a legend. God damn it, Jack. God damn it, Jack. Still got a spring in his step, I'm gonna say.
Watch me confuse the fuck out of world leaders. Legendary.
What a guy. What a guy. And you heard him. He believes that he's the most, what was it? The most credentialed to accomplish this project, the most, the one we had to entrust with this. That's what he gave us an answer at one point in that press conference, right?
Yeah, he basically told us, I'm the only one.
I'm the only one. This is the only one, guys. Sorry to break it to you.
Yeah. This is the best we've got, folks. This is the best we can do.
This is the best we can do. So sad, but so true. Yeah, that's
I want to check some opinion polls. Like,
no, they're not doing good. He's not doing good in opinion polls.
I've got Biden's approval rating.
Increasingly, it seems you're gonna be right, which means we're gonna be right.
I mean, I read somewhere recently that at this point of his presidency, like Biden has the lowest approval ratings for something like 100 years or something.
It's very low. Yeah, it's lower than Trump's.
Yeah, it's not looking good. It's
not
it's
looking
it's
good
it,
now.
it's not looking like he can hold a debate together, or or that he can speak for longer than a few minutes, to be
I'm gonna
honest.
say 4 minutes, yeah. 4 minutes max capacity.
Yeah, I mean, if he's prepared, he might be able to pull off 10, like for a debate or something, but like an hour, 1 hour and a half debate, there's no way Trump is gonna chew him up.
But I mean, Trump is gonna speak for the majority of the time anyway. So I mean, it might work out like last
Weak,
time.
weak, so weak.
Shut up, man. Come on.
Come on, man. Come on, come. Shut up.
It might work. It might
How
work.
dare you?
You're a fascist, man.
All right. Do you wanna move forward, or any closing thoughts on Jack Biden and his re-election
Still
chances?
back to back, baby. I'm holding firm for dear life, even though I fucking hate the guy because I believe that the whole Israel thing is ideological for Biden, and he actually believes the shit he's doing vis-a-vis and enabling Israel basically to eliminate Gaza off the map. So I mean, I hate the guy, but I'm still fucking holding on. I think back to back, Luigi. It's gonna be back to back.
I mean, Trump is at 42% favorable.
It's fucking fuck me,
Biden
man.
is at 38. I don't know if there's a
Imagine.
uh,
A lot of
I
the
mean,
reason for that is his age. You know that. I mean, Jesus
yeah.
Christ. I mean, we
That's why we're addressing it.
we
But
are
like,
addressing it,
yeah,
indeed.
Trump has a lower unfavorable rating as well. I mean,
Wow. Wow. Imagine. I mean, the demon's asshole has a lower unfavorability rating than you.
that's a good nickname, solid one.
If a demon had an asshole, you know it, people.
We speak like this. All right, but
let's end this, yeah, on this note that it's not looking good. It's not looking good for Jack.
it's
That's
not looking
definite.
good. And like I've been saying, like Trump, that 42% that Trump gets, like it's
It's
pretty
rock
much
solid.
locked in. Yeah. So those
Locked,
people are gonna
it's
vote.
locked in locking mechanisms your mind cannot even comprehend. I mean,
That 38% Biden gets is like,
yeah,
am
it's
I gonna get
very
off the couch?
very floppy, very loose, very wobbly. Yeah. Can we check 538 by the way?
For what?
Yeah, you've got it. For
Yeah.
any swing states. Well, how's Pennsylvania looking, for instance?
So Pennsylvania is looking Trump. Oh,
That's the
wait. Maybe
yeah.
these are primaries. Wait.
No, that's the presidential
Oh,
election, January 27. That's
Biden plus
good.
5, Biden plus 1,
Wow. Back to back, baby,
Trump
then.
plus 3,
Fuck
Trump
that
plus
shit.
3,
Go
Biden
back, go
plus 8,
back. Fuck morning consult.
Biden.
It's on a razor's edge, Luigi. It's on a razor's edge. I'm just saying that because Pennsylvania is important, one of the swing
It's one
states.
of the biggest, yeah, one of the most important.
I mean, he's got too many he's got to win, by the way. I mean, he's got Georgia, he's got Arizona, and I mean Georgia doesn't usually go Democratic, so I mean he's got too many, Luigi. It's gonna be, I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna be tight. It's gonna be extremely
It's
tight.
airtight.
Jesus Christ, +8 Trump, so I mean it's not looking good.
Trump looks to be ahead
Yeah.
by a country mile, as it were.
It's gonna be very difficult for old Jack to pull this one off.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it would take a miracle at this point to turn this around.
It's a little miracle, baby. Should we move on after this? So, I mean, we gave our
Yeah.
scores. What else do you need? We've given all we can give.
Yeah.
And let's
Biden
move
4 out of
on.
5, not there.
Oh, yeah. Not there. Not 100% there. He's somewhere.
Yeah,
Let's
floating in hyperspace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's move on to they had a primary in Nevada, Luigi, which is very funny because apart from the most embarrassing thing ever, which we're gonna get to, what happened was that there was a Nevada law that legislated basically that you have to have primaries, but the GOP wasn't having any of that. So they had a caucus as well, and they're only going to count the caucus, and you can only participate in either the primary or the caucus. So it ended up with Haley participating in the primary and Trump in the caucus. And the most
Wow.
embarrassing thing ever, she lost to none of the above. Isn't that incredible?
None of these candidates. Wow.
She lost by the none of these candidates option.
So what are we electing? None of these candidates?
None of this. I mean, it's obvious who shall not be named, who was
Lord
not
Voldemort himself.
the demon's asshole.
That's gonna catch on really
That's
quickly.
100%, 100%. I mean, I thought we had to highlight this because
That's
it's beyond embarrassing, Nikki. I mean, Jesus Christ, Nikki. And South Carolina's coming up, which is her home state.
that's gonna be way more embarrassing. Drop out Nikki. Just let him have it. He's gonna win it anyway. I mean, whatever.
Of course, he effectively, I mean, he was running himself, apart from, the grade. We said we're never going to mention him, so
Yeah.
let's skip him. But he obviously, Jesus.
99%. Wow.
Even those votes I consider an achievement for.
I can't remember another election of in any country anywhere in history where you had 99% and it wasn't rigged.
So strong. So, I mean, can we say this wasn't rigged? Because they were supposed to have a primary by Nevada law, but you know how it goes. How of these people are being investigated for election interference as well with January 6th. I mean, the GOP in charge in Nevada. So I mean, whatever this was. I'm not denying the grade one support base, of course. This is not to be denied.
And
I mean,
animated support base.
as you can so evidently see over here. I mean, evidently the guy would win the primary, which is why I think this is so stupid. You think Trump wouldn't win this primary? Jesus Christ.
I mean, Trump had the entire primary process in the bag like months
Look
ago.
at that little reach there, Luigi. Look at that. That's what we call
The reach of power.
That's what we call a Nusi, Luigi.
Wow. Oh my God. Once you see that, you can unsee it. Oh my God.
Yeah, I went there. I had to. I mean, look at this picture. Complete nirvana. It's
I'm
nirvana,
gonna
isn't it?
put it on my wall. It's
I think it's called Patriot Salutes Golden Toilet Bowl. I think that's what it's called. It's a glorious one.
uh,
Let's
Yeah.
this is important as well. Have you heard that yesterday, I think the Supreme Court was hearing oral arguments about this, which is the 14th Amendment one, exactly, which stemmed from the Colorado ruling that removed Trump from the ballot, and the Supreme Court justices seem. I mean, I've read a little bit of what has happened, and they're as I think you said it as well.
well, yeah.
They're not likely. They are not likely to actually side with Colorado on this, and they're gonna force Colorado to have Trump on the ballot. Is what I'm
Of
saying.
course. Yeah, they're gonna overturn it, but what's the rationale they came up with?
They were talking about consequences. I can find a few. Samuel John Roberts, who is the chief justice, looked inward, asking himself what the consequences of stripping Trump from the Colorado ballot would be for his own court. He painted a picture of a dystopian world in which a ruling that sided with Colorado would unleash a flood of partisan challenges from other states under the insurrection clause, each of them with different standards of proof and evidentiary rules. And it's gonna, I don't know, and a few states, he said, are gonna end up deciding the elections. Then, you're off the ballot. In very quick order, a godly number of states will say, whoever the Democratic candidate is, you're off the ballot, and others for the Republican, and it will come
But
down to
not
just...
everyone has engaged in insurrection.
Fair-
What are we
By the
saying,
way,
though?
Luigi, I think that was the response by the lawyer that was prosecuting the case. So that I mean, yeah, it was like, but this is an insurrection thing. Yeah, that this is not applicable to everybody. But I mean, look at this, and it will come down to just a handful of states that are going to decide the presidential election. That's a daunting consequence, the moron says. Does this remind you of anything? A handful of states that are going to decide the president. It reminds me of what the fuck is happening right now, Luigi.
They're called battleground states, literally.
What a fucking whatever, Luigi.
It
But
was part,
they seemed predetermined that they
yeah.
weren't gonna dip their feet into those waters and bar Trump.
I mean, it was either gonna be, I didn't expect the public order argument. What I expected to hear is there's never been a formal trial condemning Trump of actual insurrection, so you can't keep him on the ballot with a charge that hasn't been proven, basically. That's something along the lines of what I was expecting, saying that we're gonna unleash the floodgates of hell if we even consider this politically. Wasn't on my bingo card, but there it is.
And I mean, yeah, I mean, a lot of it was, much of the argument was centered around whether Trump is an officer of the United States, but the judges didn't seem much interested in that part of the case. And even the big question whether Trump actually engaged in insurrection, only Ketanji Brown Jackson, I think my favorite, asked the question of Trump's lawyer, which was, did he engage in insurrection? And he gave a fucking stupid answer, like it wasn't an insurrection, it was a riot. It wasn't an insurrection, whatever. Lawyer speak.
Yeah. It was not an organized, concerted effort to overthrow the
Yeah.
government. So a
But
chaotic, well, that's a good argument. So a chaotic effort to overthrow the government is not an insurrection. That's yeah. So you can have a change of government with a riot, but we are not really calling. I don't know. Does that sound?
it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And yeah, it seems very unlikely. I mean, Brett Kavanaugh is talking about democracy in the most simplistic way possible. And wow, did we need fucking Brett Kavanaugh to tell us this point? I mean, the people gonna vote, Luigi.
So wait. That's actually really important. The most controversial argument in this case, at least among the broader public, is the Colorado Supreme Court's determination that Trump committed insurrection.
Of course, I mean, that's how they backed him, effectively.
Okay, I missed that part.
I mean,
Uh,
effectively, the Supreme Court determined that he did, and so barred him from holding office, from being on the ballot in Colorado.
Anyway, it was obvious this was never gonna fly. Not really surprised. Color me not shocked.
And the arguments were weak. From the justices I found. It's basically we don't want to touch this.
Yeah, which it's an argument.
It's an argument that, I mean, as exemplified by the response. In November, should Trump win, the question of an insurrectionist returning to the White House will not have gone away. In words that may yet haunt the court, the lawyer representing the Colorado plaintiff said, I think it could come back with a vengeance. And I mean, yeah, it could.
We've waited until the fourth year
It's
of a
pathetic, I know.
presidency to do this. That's really pathetic.
I think you have to in this case because you have to bar him from the ballot, right?
From the
In
in
but
this case,
still,
yeah.
whatever. Yeah, I agree. By the way, now you mention it, I've saw some charts, and there are charts going about his fucking trial cases, Donald's, and I think Jack Smith's case is gonna end up before the elections in most cases. So, I mean, in some of those cases, it's gonna be 2 weeks before the November election.
Wow.
So, I
Wow.
mean, Jesus fucking Christ, what we're gonna see, right? Going
The
forward.
third leg of government is about to decide the election.
The third leg of government is about to get very stressed. He's gonna go under a stressing situation. Tony's gonna do his best. Stress test the fuck out of it. It's gonna be interesting, right? Have you heard about this? Have you heard about the bill that they've been trying to negotiate from before the new year now on
No.
the US-Mexico border? Ukraine and Israel is part of that as well, and they're basically incapable of passing it. And then the Democrats ostensibly wanted to pass the Ukraine and Israel funding, but then you remember. For a year now, all the Republicans have been like, no, we have to secure our borders. How can you secure someone else's borders, man, without securing your own? So the
Yeah,
Democrats,
that has been the
they,
line. Yeah. Let's look at inward.
they,
Secure
they,
our borders.
they're generally not very nuanced when delivering their messages. So it's word for word, the fucking line. And the Democrats actually called their bluff, which I don't even agree with, but the Democrats literally gave them one of the most extreme border security bills I've ever seen, advocated by Democrats. Stuff like, Luigi, if the daily intake of people looking for refugee status increases more than 5,000 a day, basically the border closes and everybody else is checked out. So I mean,
Excellent.
we're talking about very, 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 very hardcore border bill given by the Democrats to the Republicans in order to pass this.
Hmm.
But Trump came hard on this. What did he say? Nothing more than a highly sophisticated trap for Republicans. That bullshit. Basically, Trump doesn't want to solve the issue, or whatever. Doesn't want to give a
It
win.
doesn't fit the electoral agenda when you solve
Yeah,
immigration before the elections.
and there's not going to be funding for Ukraine or Israel either. Whatever, Chuck has an idea now. He wants to separate it, even though initially they couldn't do Ukraine and Israel and they had to include the border, and then they included the border, and then fucking Republicans bailed on it. So now Chuck is going fucking full circle on it, and he's like, I'm going to give the Ukraine and Israel just funding bill and see if they vote on that. But they're not going to vote on that either. So I don't think anything's going to pass, Luigi, basically. Which is classic US
As it
cop.
often
Yeah.
does, exactly. I wasn't
Yeah.
expecting any moral consistency from the Republican Party, to be
But
fair.
Jesus Christ, dude, it's a one in a lifetime opportunity for the fuckers to close down the border. And then they're like, you'd
But
think
the
that
king doesn't want it.
the king doesn't want it, exactly. And that's it. That's done. It's not happening, people. So for every fucking right winger who actually cares about shutting down the border, your king doesn't want it, guys. And by the way, your king is never going to be able to pass it if he becomes president, because the Democrats are never going to vote for that. Whatever,
Whatsoever,
whatever.
but yeah,
Luigi,
yeah, Tiger Carlson
you've heard, I
and
think.
the Puts.
The Poots. I love that it's become the Poots meets with Tag. Is it in the mold of the Andrew Tate interview? I mean, spoiler, we haven't seen the interview, people. It launched yesterday, I think, night. And it's, I don't know, 3 hours long or something. I've seen Putin interviews. How about you, Luigi? I mean, this is not the first time.
I've seen several of his.
Yeah, I
The
mean,
classic modus operandi is, oh, you accuse Russia of this, but here's something the West is doing that is almost equivalent. Got you. Ha ha. I'm really smart. I used to be a spy. Oh, I'm so cool.
I think it's an excellent summary. I think this is give or take what you get with the great boots. I'm wondering, Jesus Christ, Tiger, what the fuck are you doing? I love that. I love that. I love that. I love that.
I mean, Tiger Unleashed. Tiger has left Fox News, and he's like, I'm gonna become a real boy now.
I'm gonna do serious
It's
geopolitics.
the Pinocchio story of
Wow.
news.
You know what? You know what? Fuck me, Luigi. I agree. I mean, he kinda looks like Pinocchio. He kinda looks maybe not a
Dude, I
hundred.
mean, that's Pinocchio.
Not a
He's
hundred
trying to
percent
become a
real.
real
Yeah, yeah.
journalist.
He's trying to become a real human and a journal by becoming a real journalist. But he farted on the whole thing immediately, though I have to admit, Luigi, because he was like, nobody wants to interview him. And even the fucking even Putin's fucking spokesperson was like, no, we get a lot of people who want to interview the president. So I mean, what the fuck?
When you have no shame.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
Tiger
Yeah.
definitely has no shame.
That's one of the big issues with with the big boy, 100% Luigi. No shame,
The
no
real
shame.
boy.
The real boy. I think it was a funny, without having watched it. I heard it was a funny interview.
In what sense?
The Tiger did not particularly question Putin in any way or shape or form.
That must have been one of the prerequisites of the interview.
You imagine?
I mean, you have to imagine that, right?
Obviously, obviously.
It's like you do not ask difficult questions.
Tiger
Twitter
boy,
sum
why you look so constipated, huh?
Twitter summarized the whole situation as like Putin's interview as the US could be run by a lettuce, but Russia can only be run by me, something along those lines. Like I'm indisplaceable.
Oh yeah, did he try to play that angle as well?
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
That's what I read, at least.
a man's man, a populist people.
Uh,
Let's
what else
finish
do we
this.
have? Yeah.
What else do we have? We had a scandal surfacing for the CNN staff. CNN staff has come out saying that the network's pro-Israel slant amounts to journalistic malpractice. According to accounts from 6 CNN staffers in multiple newsrooms and more than a dozen internal memos and emails obtained by The Guardian, daily news decisions are shaped by a flow of directives from the CNN headquarters in Atlanta that have set strict guidelines on coverage. They include tight restrictions on quoting Hamas and reporting other Palestinian perspectives, while Israel government statements are taken at face value. In addition, every story on the conflict must be cleared by the Jerusalem Bureau before broadcast or publication. It's all a mess, really. I mean, a literal CNN staffer, the majority of news since the war began, regardless of how accurate initial reporting, has been skewed by systematic and institutional bias within the network toward Israel. And that's a fucking staffer from CNN. Ultimately, CNN's coverage amounts to journalistic malpractice. And it's a long article, Luigi, and it just shows that, yeah, can't trust CNN on this, guys. There's our guy, great
Wow.
guy.
The press.
You know what this guy did?
Mr. CNN.
Mr. CNN himself, Anderson Cooper, one staffer pointed to the appearance of a former senior official in the Israeli intelligence service on Anderson Cooper's show, where he claimed that the entire Palestinian population of Gaza could be regarded as combatants, to which Cooper did not challenge him on either point.
The non-combatant population in Gaza is really a non-existent term because all of the Gazans voted for the
Absolute
Hamas.
bullshit. Absolute
Like literally
bullshit.
half of Gaza wasn't alive back then. Like half of them are
Cooper
kids.
did not even challenge him. And this is just, yeah.
The press
Delivers, Luigi.
is having
Delivers.
one of its strongest points ever.
Do you want to know another one with Jake Tapper? Not a porn name. Was Jake. Another senator picked out anchor Jake Tapper's program as an example of an anchor too closely identifying with one side. In one segment, Tapper acknowledged the death and suffering of innocent Palestinians, but appeared to defend the scale of the Israeli attack. What exactly did Hamas think the Israeli military would do? And I mean, excellent stuff by CNN. And just on this, I mean, we harp on the United States because, I mean, fuck knows how you deal with the internal political situation in Israel. The United States is much better place to just, pressure them into doing something than awaiting the Israeli population to vote for someone that wants it to stay. That's far more difficult to achieve, right? I mean, right now, Netanyahu, there's no way he's going to go for it. Who knows in the future what's going to happen?
Since when does US foreign policy revolve around let's let them vote for it? It's usually you do this, I'm the 900-kilo gorilla in the room.
Yeah, yeah, and to be fair, I mean, and it would be so easy, Luigi. It would be so easy. I mean, first of all, there's a global shortage of ammunition because of the Ukraine war, but they would not be able to sustain their bombardment without the US resupplying the Israeli military. According to Israeli sources, the US has delivered more than 25,000 tons of weapons through 40 ships and 280 aircraft. Insane, right?
25,000 tons.
Through 280 aircraft landings since October. I mean, Netanyahu
That's an
keeps going.
insane number, seriously.
Netanyahu basically wants to do it domestically. He's trying to reshape his industry to be able to do this himself without relying on US actors. But I mean, he relies now. Now would be a good time to pressure him. But Biden has simply refused to use it. Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, if any, Biden's the only person on planet Earth that can really
Yeah.
force Israel to do that. He doesn't want to.
The US has the EU, sorry, has power as well, but it's not like Biden. Biden has enormous power to deal with this.
The EU has a different, like if the EU took this seriously, which like they don't,
It's the EU people.
they could resort to economic sanctions, but that's never gonna happen. So what are we even discussing? Economic sanctions are for the bad guys.
For the guys we don't like, Luigi.
That's pretty much it.
AKA the bad guys.
That sums up European foreign policy.
And yeah, do you want to go to rapid fire for the rest of the news I've got?
Let's do that.
Let's do
That sounds
rapid
fun.
fire. Marianne Williamson ended campaign. Anything to say, Luigi?
I'm sorry, I kind of fell asleep
King
halfway.
Charles diagnosed with cancer.
Oh, wow. Oh,
Yeah,
no.
that happened. That happened.
Blimey.
Gert Wilders' hopes of becoming Dutch PM are dimming after one of the chances of forming a coalition are becoming dimmer by the day.
No. Wannabe Nazis losing, no.
Islamic scholar, Luigi, Islamic scholar.
Islamic, anti-Islamic scholar, you could say, but sure.
Oof, the first of his kind, possibly. And then we got Orban boycotting. He still hasn't ratified Sweden getting into NATO. What a mad lad. What a big boy. Erdi has done it. He
Yeah.
hasn't.
It's so crazy
Legend.
that
Legend.
he's the wheel that greases European politics. He's so strong. He's such a strong man. Like
Simply the best.
Nothing would work without him.
I mean, fuck Sweden, right?
But Sweden, NATO, I like the ongoing war on Europe's ball. Whatever. Nah.
Whatever.
By the way, let's go back to the Dutch guy for a second. Isn't it really funny that the model like for the neo right is let's be super sort of extreme before we go for an election, then tone it down and sort of shift slightly towards the center as we are doing the election, appear moderate, and still like he can't really form a government. That's funny.
Yeah. And the funniest shit is, I mean, if you wanna elaborate, new elections are an option, although polls suggest his support has surged since November.
Oh, that's
I
an
mean,
interesting development. But you can't have a re-election. Can you? What's the Dutch system?
if they
Does it
can't
call for re-election?
if they can't form a manifesto and agree a coalition, I think it goes to elections, yes. Or you have a minority government.
Exactly.
That's possible as well. We'll have to see. It's gonna take a while.
It's gonna take some time. All right, so is that it?
That is it. That is it, Luigi.
Victorious once again.
I bid you adieu.
May strong men grace your path, good sir.
Sounds gay.
What I meant to say
But I
was
will take it.
extremely strong man.
Oof. Show some strength, people. Show some strength. As the great top G, soon to be imprisoned in Romania, I would say. Drink your fucking bubble water. Makes you strong. It's the bubbles. We haven't heard about him in a while.
Yeah.
Yes,
thankfully.
we send our wishes, best wishes. Hope you rot, fucking bastard.
Wow, aggressive.
But I mean, he likes it. He likes it, I thought.
Strength, respect, strength.
Exactly. Let's close on this. A strong people between us with strength. Strong. Let's close strongly.
Power to the people.
Power to the people. As the great psychologist would say, be more like a lobster.
Right.
See you guys. See you next week.
Sayonara.